When I heard Kyler Murray was taking the field, I knew we were going to lose this game. Bears lose 33-22 to the Arizona Cardinals at home on a very rainy day in the orange uniforms. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm really glad they're back. I really like those uniforms. But I also like the throwbacks or the alternates that we used these last 2 years. But I am really not glad to see that the orange uniforms are back. This was a long game, and it was bad from the get-go. They had pretty much lost this game before the first quarter was over. You see, Andy Dalton got the start again today. And he threw 4 picks. This is what happens when someone like Andy Dalton comes up against a very competent defense. He's throwing 4 picks. The first one that he just overthrew Jakeem Grant. That one's all on him. And then Murray ended up finding DeAndre Hopkins, who both were back, by the way. I didn't even know if they were going to be in until I started watching the game. And I don't know what the ref was thinking, but they thought DeAndre Hopkins was out. I'm pretty sure everyone watching the game could have easily said that that was a touchdown. And well, it was, so they got the call right eventually. But the fact that they did not call it a touchdown on the field is kind of baffling. So then the Bears actually follow up with a pretty nice drive, relying heavily on David Montgomery, as they usually do. And, Cole Kmet can't catch the ball. He bobbles it, and instead of, just dropping it, he kind of just bats it up in the air, and Budda Baker comes down and scoops it up and takes it back inside the Bears' 20. And you see he would have scored a touchdown if it wasn't for Andy Dalton forcing him to jump over him, which then allowed David Montgomery to track him down. Kyler Murray ends up running into the end zone for a touchdown. It's 14-0 before the first quarter is even over. Bears have thrown 2 picks, and at this point I'm thinking, you know what, this is over. This is kind of what I expected. I know my pessimism has told me this several times this year, but I'm like, okay, give him at least to the end of the half. If it gets worse, if it gets quite a bit worse, then you can kind of call it over. Give them a chance. And you know what they did? They actually responded with a touchdown drive. David Montgomery ran in for a score, and the Bears got within a score of the game. By this time, it's 14-7, and the Cardinals are now just having their first possession of the game that they didn't get inside the Bears' 30. On said Cardinals drive, James Conner makes a spectacular one-handed catch, and it allows him to get around Crawford and then just run into the end zone like it's nothing. I don't know. I just give James Conner props for that catch. At this point, the Bears are playing the role of meaningless enemies in a movie. Nothing happens for the rest of the first half. It's 21-7 into halftime. And the Cardinals had a field goal right after, so it's a 3-possession game early in the third. Bears finally responded with a touchdown before the end of the third quarter, so there's at least some sliver of hope that they can actually win the game, because you know what? Going in the fourth quarter down 3 scores is a bad thing, didn't you know? You don't win games that you go down in the third quarter down 3 scores. I mean, the Bears did it against the Falcons and the Lions last year, but it's the Falcons and the Lions, so it's not really that impressive. It's whatever. It doesn't happen often, and especially not against a team like the Cardinals, who are 9-2, now 10-2 with the win. As we get into the fourth quarter, Dalton's ended up throwing another interception, which the Bears had a really nice goal line stand, actually, to hold the Cardinals to 3 to keep it a 2-score game. Too bad Dalton threw another pick after the Bears get a gift of a roughing the kicker call. 15 yards and automatic first down. The very next play, Andy Dalton throws a pick, and the Cardinals take that one for a touchdown. So let's take a look now. It's 3 touchdowns and a field goal. 24 of the 33 Arizona points were scored off of turnovers. What else do you want me to say? You can't do that. You can't do that. If you lose the turnover battle 4-0, you do not win those games. And all of those were super short fields, too, because every single interception was, either inside, Bears territory and taken inside the 30, or had a really good run back that is taken inside the Bears' 20. Kyler Murray runs in for another touchdown, and by that time, I turned the game off, and it was over. So the Bears ended up, after Murray runs in for the touchdown, Dalton throws another meaningless touchdown to Jakeem Grant. They actually get the 2-point conversion, and it's a 33-22 final. Dave Montgomery was really our entire sense of offense in this game. Darnell Mooney was silenced after back-to-back 120-plus yard receiving games. And Dalton ended up throwing for 2 touchdowns somehow, even though he threw 4 picks. The fact that this game ended as only an 11-point decision for the Cardinals is honestly shocking because they absolutely spanked us. Well, actually, they didn't really even need to do much because we just gifted them the victory by giving them 24 points off of turnovers that gave them less than 30 yards to drive to the end zone. I mean, the ball was just going all over the place with just the rainy conditions. Who knows if Dalton does not throw 4 picks and the Cardinals are actually forced to drive the ball more than like 2 times in the game? What happens then? Because it looks like Kyler Murray had a couple bad plays where he kind of fumbled with the ball. Didn't turn it over, though. That's the thing. Kyler Murray did not turn the ball over, where Andy Dalton did. So, yeah, I mean, if Murray has the ball and has to drive for more than half the field, who knows how many points the Bears are able to keep off the board or score for themselves and even win this game, possibly, if we don't turn the ball over 4 times. That's all a bunch of what-ifs, but you know what? It didn't happen. They turned the ball over 4 times, and they lost because of it. Dalton had 4 picks. I would say this is his first bad game with the Bears, because with the Rams, it was the Rams. They were a really good team. He looked all right. Didn't really blow any heads off, but he didn't look, awful like he did today. Against the Bengals, he threw for a touchdown. We had the lead, I think. Actually, there was no points in this game until the 4th quarter anyways, until Justin Fields came in. Against Baltimore, he even threw a 4th and 11 heave to Marquise Goodwin to give us the lead. Defense blew that game, but Dalton looked all right. Got the win against Detroit. It's not like it was much of an achievement, but he won. And then this game, he looked awful. And look, our receivers couldn't catch either. Our receiving core is just so battered. Now with Robinson out, Goodwin was out today as well. Jakeem Grant and Rodney Adams were getting a bunch of targets, and not Darnell Mooney for some reason. And, Adams couldn't catch. Actually, Demir Bird was another receiver who actually got attention. He got a couple catches. Jakeem Grant was our leading receiver. I don't know. Our receiving core is battered. Our running game's still strong. Because you know what? Even if Montgomery's out, we still have Khalil Herbert. He even got some carries today and actually did all right. Our running game is good. Our passing game remains terrible, and this is the big problem with this offense. We continue to have at least an above-average running game, even a good running game, but our passing game is constantly in the bottom 5 in the league, and it's hurting us in the long run because in today's NFL, it's more about passing the ball than running the ball. Look, next week is Green Bay on prime time. If they don't flex that game, the NFL's dumb because they really should. A 4-8 team and an 8 they're on their bye this week. So a 9-3 team and a 4-8 team should not be going up against each other on prime time in the better team's home stadium. I personally think that would be a terrible game on national television. Obviously, Packers fans would say otherwise because it just means that they get to embarrass us on national television. But frankly, I'm not even coming from that position. I'd rather see a good game on Sunday night. Tampa Bay and Buffalo is this upcoming week, and I think that's going to be a fantastic game with Buffalo coming up against New England and then coming and playing Tom Brady. So I think that would be a great pick for Sunday night, but I don't get to make the decisions around here. They'll probably keep it on there just because it's Bears-Packers and nothing else. They won't flex it out. It's really a shame because I'm not ready for it. I've got finals next week. I've got a finals on Sunday. I'm probably not going to be watching much of that game. Not like I want to watch that game anyways. We're going to be absolutely smacked if it's anything like the last couple of years. Actually, only last year. We actually were competitive in 2018-19. Still lost, But, we were at least competitive. So what am I trying to say? I am not ready for next week. I don't want to watch the game. I'll probably watch the game anyways because I like torturing myself. And I've got finals next week, so I'll be stressed anyways. This is just going to be a great weekend next weekend. Just finals, losing to the Packers in Lambeau, and then finals right after that. I got a couple finals I got to finish before I head home for the holidays. So, yeah, this is going to be fantastic. So, yeah, that's really going to do it. If you want to see my reaction to the Packers-Bears game in Lambeau, hit the subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss it. It's probably going to be another really entertaining game. It's probably going to blow up again. Hit the like button if you liked this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.